Welcome back, Mr. Goodberry. The First Star Logistics studio is fully equipped and ready to record.
Welcome to episode 53 of Bengals on the Brain, presented by First Star Logistics. I'm your host, Joe Goodberry. We're going to continue our offseason film review as we get introduced to the draft prospects that could be on the Bengals' radar at pick 18. We're going to look at offensive tackles and tight ends and running backs and defensive tackles and whatever other position we think the Bengals could draft this year. It's a process. We'll get there. I know a lot of people want to shoot out names. Hey, watch this guy, watch that guy, watch this position. We will get there. We've got to decide if these guys are worth the pick or not. And we're going to go with Byron Murphy, defensive tackle out of Texas, to continue our direct comparison with Tuesday's prospect, Jerzon Newton, defensive tackle out of Illinois. A lot of mock drafts lately have those guys interchangeable in the teens. We'll see which one we like more based on the tape and some data numbers that we have at the end of the show as well. But first, we got some news. The Bengals, as expected, promoted Dan Pitcher to their offensive coordinator role when Brian Callahan left for Tennessee. Pitcher, former quarterbacks coach, former quarterback coach assistant, wide receiver assistant, offensive assistant, and former scout, played quarterback himself. Cortland State, shout out State University in New York. And they're promoting, or expected to promote, Brad Craigthorpe, assistant quarterbacks coach, into the quarterback coach role, which will solidify the Bengals coaching staff. We don't expect anybody else to leave for promotions at this point. Maybe Brian Callahan will take some guys with him. There are no reports or rumors on that as of now. So unless they fill out the bottom of the coaching staff with some relative unknowns, that's about all we will have to say on the staff. And it looks like it's ready to go into the offseason, which is where we are now. Looking at these players, and like I said, we will get to these tackles, offensive tackles. We'll get to these positions. I hear you guys. We can only do one a week or one a show. We can do two a show if they're on the same team, which is what we have this week. We will see some Tavondre Sweat, the big nose tackle body type from Texas. Only a few snaps from him in these that I'll highlight just to give us an introductory, get our feet wet just a little bit. And I say body type for Sweat because it's actually Byron Murphy, today's focus, that plays a lot of nose tackle for Texas. We have Iowa State, Kansas, and Alabama queued up here. Alabama being the tough one, right? But Iowa State, their offense has given teams troubles for years now, and he definitely had to. You'll see the tape, you'll see it. But he's 20 years old in this. Keep that in mind while you're watching him. Keeping in mind that he's playing nose tackle a lot of the time. That's going to hurt or make our evaluation more difficult than it needs to be. I'll explain after we get to the tape and during the tape as well. So enjoy and meet me on the other side. Number 90, in case I circle the wrong guy, which does happen. Number 90 here for Texas is Byron Murphy II. And you're going to see him there have to take on a double team, discard one player, and then get picked up by the second. So that's the thing when we get to the third part of the show, when we talk about his production data, keep in mind he's playing nose tackle, he's 20 years old, and he's going to get double teamed a lot because of how Texas plays their front. And they're really asking them the two gap, which means you're going to stand the guy up and either play left and right rather than just shoot a gap every single time. Most of the time, like we saw with Newton. Okay, moving on. We get a little jumping off sides there from Murphy, and then he gets pushed inside. One of the questions we had with Newton was, how often does he take on a double team? Not as often as Murphy does. I mean, Murphy's going to take on 5 to 10 of them a game, and so we'll highlight a lot of those. Can he handle it? Remember, he's 6'1", 305 listed. He's not nose tackle size, so it is going to be an issue if he's that big and getting blown off completely, 10 yards off of where he started? Watch him here as he takes on the double team. This is versus Kansas. Latch on to the center. Then the right guard starts driving you down the field. Not ideal, right? Again, we got double teams knocking him way off his mark, but he's got good vision, gets back inside, helps make the tackle. Okay. I mean, I don't want it to be negative, right? So we will get to the positive plays. These are in order. These aren't highlights or lowlights, like I've said before. Now we're going to see him directly over the nose and take it. There we go. There's more taken on the double team, dropping to that knee, not giving up any ground. You see that right there, and watch him end up squirting between the two of them and getting off his legs, getting off the ground. I mean, on back onto his knees and helping make the tackle there. We got a shaded position. If you ever see these guys and they're not angled directly over someone or directly into the gap, they're shaded on the center. That's what it means. That's a shaded nose. Just gives you different angles and different things to do. So he's going to work his way across and then swim move back inside. By then, the ball is already released and for a deep touchdown. Not his fault, right? He's going to do what he can do. Here we go. We're dropping to a knee again. Take on these double teams. Stand them up. The run goes the other way. Come work your way back inside and help make the tackle. So that's valuable. This one is one of the key plays, I think, in the evaluation of Byron Murphy because you see the athleticism, right? As this guard is firing out of his stance to come down block on him, he's going to have the ability and the quickness to shoot over a full gap and become unblocked, right? But he goes a little bit too far. He's crashing now into the left tackle and his other D tackle or D lineman, his teammate. And then now you're clear to the running back, right? You should be able to, it's a play action pass, but you should be able to make your path to the quarterback, running back, whoever's got the ball here. And instead, I don't know where he went. Do you think it was a screen that way? So that was Kansas. I wouldn't say it's a great day for him. He may have got a couple pressures in there, a couple wins, but largely was getting doubled and had to fight for his life for a lot of those. Here he is against Alabama now. This will be the toughest test. Alabama always is whenever you're watching O-line, D-line guys, running backs. They're just bigger, stronger than everyone for the most part. So here he is against a head up on a center. And he's got to come across as the guard takes him. Now he's going against the right guard one-on-one. Again, I like this film. Also, this rep for him. Mostly because you see him fake outside, go back inside. His hands aren't exactly clean on that win. So when you go back, watch, he doesn't exactly get him off until he rips the guy down. So it's almost like a push-pull, maybe he was going with. And then now he's got to be an athlete, get back on his feet, get his line straight, and get to the quarterback. Can he do that? At the very least, he can dive and disrupt. Hey, disruption is production. We will take that. Again, we're dropping to a knee, taking on the double team. Shows he can do it for a guy that's, again, 6'1", 305. Again, taking on that double team. The fact that he can do this now probably shows. Let me go back to this one, actually. Is this the one I wanted? No, it's the next one. But being able to do this now shows that you can probably play pretty early in your career. Okay, so it's the next place. Sorry about that. This one. I think he gets turned inside by the center here. I think he's thinking this double team's going to come, so he leans into it, and this guy's just straight up releasing and getting the linebacker, which ends up with Murphy inside and leaving a gap between he and his defensive tackle. Man, I mean, absolutely getting crushed in these double teams now. He's on all fours at this point, head facing the ground, still finds a way to get back up on his feet, stay with the ball carrier, vision on the ball carrier, good hustle afterwards. I mean, we've seen that a couple times in the Kansas game and now in this game where he fights on that double team, survives as long as possible, and then gets up and chases down the ball carrier, which there's value in that. I just don't know what the value is yet. Breaking through a double team there to create a pressure. Not so much there. I think with these, I wanted to show how often he's getting doubled. There we go. There's a nice win against the center. I will say this again. Of all the linemen to beat, beating the center is the least impressive thing to do. They're usually the smallest and worst athletes on the offensive line. And sometimes you get some really good athletic centers. But I mean, in terms of a height, weight, length, athleticism, the guards are bigger, usually thicker, stronger. The tackles are the best athletes on the offensive line typically because they're have size, bulk, strength, height, length, and then raw athleticism as well. So beating a center has less value, but you need a guy that can do it, and you need guys that, here he is right here. Watch him. Hesitation, kind of a head bob, and just a powerful slap to the back. That's old school power there. And then the guard comes over and cleans him up and drives Murphy into the ground. So that's not ideal. We need a guy that can finish. Got to stay on your feet. Take on the double team here, and woo, nice tackle. This is his best play so far here. Again, we're taking on the double. Don't give up any ground. Drop to a knee. Get your eyes up onto the running back. Look at this. He's peeking through a keyhole there, and then makes a nice strong tackle while his legs are still on the ground. Very nice. Nice job ripping through the two of them. He's got to rip through this double team here. And watch his hands. I mean, like, you could probably clean yourself off right there. And then right here, I talked about this with Newton. Remember we had the sack by Newton on the final play where he gets the penalty, right? Absolutely obliterates the quarterback coming across. He goes around the guard here, but in between the guard and the tackle, and comes through and obliterates him, turns this corner extremely tightly. You got to be able to disengage and then become an athlete. So watch Murphy here. He doesn't exactly disengage cleanly, and then he can't stay on his feet and overruns it. We're going to get him to loop all the way outside this time. Cut that corner. There we go. Missed sack by Murphy in the backfield. We try a hesitation. Go back inside. You're not knocking the hands down, not getting the hands away, spinning. Yeah, I mean, that's a great rep for the right guard. That's basically 3 moves in one, and he gets them. Whew. There's a double team where you get too high. This is why you don't want to go high in these double teams, kids. That's why he drops to the knee so often. You go high, and you get blown up in there. That's not great. Oh, we're getting washed inside again now in the double team. We're getting later in the game. This is when your size starts to affect you a little bit. You don't want to do it back-to-back plays. You don't want to take on that double team. And look, as everyone's running into the pile, Murphy's the furthest guy away from the ball carrier. Not really flowing with it, not going with it. That is a great rep. Absolutely great rep by Murphy here. Let's bring it all the way back. From head up with the guard, and he sees the guard pulling, and then he ends up head up with the center. So now he's already over one gap. He's going to beat the center cleanly with the nice arm over move here. Eyes on the running back the whole way. Watch him scrape across like he's the linebacker. He's doing it better than 33. Fills the hole. Open field tackle. Wrap up. Get some help from 28. Great job, Byron Murphy. Very good against the run. When he can be an athlete, especially. Nice. We get a pressure and a hit on the quarterback. So they're playing the run here for sure. That's why they're washing down with the O-line, with the run action from the running back. Now he sees it's a pass, figures I can spin back inside, and there's a clean win with the hands. That's what we want to see. Clean win with the hands right there. Yes. He doesn't get that as often as Newton does. His hands don't land as perfectly all the time. Now we're moving to Iowa State. And we've got Murphy, number 90, right in the middle. If we point out 93, that's Tavondre Sweat, second rounder, more than likely. Big body, huge dude. Maybe he's the DJ Reader replacement. Whew, right off the snap for Murphy, huh? Give me that again. Let me go back again. So again, Murphy's right here. Right off the snap, watch him beat him across the face. And give just a hand to keep himself free. He doesn't get the tackle in the backfield. They end up gaining yardage on there. So you'd like to see, again, he's had a couple missed opportunities in the backfield, not finishing the play. Go one-on-one with the center, try to bull rush him. And that's got to be a tip ball by Sweat then, huh? Let's go back. Sweat's right here. I clipped a couple of them where Sweat was the one making the play. So let's watch Sweat. Oh, okay. Disengage, get your hand up, knock it down. Great. Just an intro to him. Back on Murphy. Lined up between the center and left guard. Got to take on the double team. Woo, that foot's slipping in the grass. Still finds a way to get in there and make a tackle. Let's go back. Let's see it again to make sure. Watch him take on this double team, slip back, get back in there. Yeah, he didn't get in there to make the tackle. I don't want to give him too much credit, but fighting back and getting front side of the play. Okay. Yep, that's a pressure. We'll take the pressure there. That's a push pull move. I love the push pull move where I can give you power, especially since he's already given power to the center. What was that? The first? No, it was the second play. So let's do it again here. Let's say I'm going to bull rush you, and then once you lean back and fight back into me, I can pull my hands away. Hopefully pull you too, but if you don't, even just getting your hands out and ripping, being finesse after the power can create a displacement and geez. Hey, you know what? That's part of the evaluation of taking on double teams here. He's going to take it on by the left guard and left tackle. Now, why do you want to occupy both blockers for as long as possible? So one of these guys wants to climb up and get to the linebacker and block your linebacker. If two guys are blocking you, and they are on both of these defensive tackle spots, one of your linebackers should be free. You should have an extra guy to come up and make the tackle. And look, these guys can barely get off those two D tackles. And the linebackers come up and fill that. So there is value, even though he ended up on the ground eating dirt. He did his job. It just is not very pretty. And we're on the ground again. So that's one thing we mentioned with Newton. Oh, got back up and got the sack. So good. Way to stick with it. That is a few times in this game, in these 3 games that we've seen Murphy stay with the play and ultimately end up being the guy to help make the stop. But ending up on the ground, he's on the ground much more than we saw with Jerzon Newton. This is a good, show some strength here. Yeah, I'm going to break this down a little bit more here. So he's at the nose spot, and they're basically trapping him as they pull the guard across his face. So as he's dipping down, he's got hands in his back like this. He needs to rip with this left hand and disengage. He needs to get those blockers' hands off of him, and he can't there. And that's how he ends up, as he's lifting up, getting pushed back a couple more yards still. So again, hand battling is a big thing with Murphy so far. Woof. He just got blown out of the gym right there again on the double team. Going to go head up with the right guard, center come and knock him another 3 or 4 yards down the line of scrimmage. Murphy head up on the nose again, head up on the center, I mean. There you go. Beat the center across his face there as he's trying to drive you left. You come back right. Looked like you got held a little bit too. One-on-one with the center. Nice little arm over swim move. Yep, knock the hand away this time, both hands. So that's the first hand. Knock it away, come around with the overhand, and if you can now keep that hand that you knocked away down, you should be clear now to make your angle towards the quarterback, to the running back, to the ball carrier, wherever you're going, flatten and get to him. Can he do that? Or does he get pushed around the outside? He gets pushed. So he didn't finish getting that arm down and keeping that arm down. Oh, yeah. See, this is what he can do, man. He can jump gaps. He's got that lateral explosiveness to come all the way across. He messes the whole play up. He messes the entire play up. Not only do they want to pull here, they want to pull this lineman and lead block, but then the linebacker comes from the backside gap, all because Murphy is a disruptor, and he is really disruptive. He's got a lot of Larry Ogunjobi in that way, where upfield, when he does get his chance, or laterally, he can be a pain in the butt. He was at the 3-tech spot. I wanted to see him there. Missed the hand move. goes right into the double team. So again, moves missing for him. They let him go outside there. That made sense. Yep. I remember the play now when I cut it. Shows some athleticism, but it was by design. I want to go back there. Okay, yeah. So he and Sweat. I mean, everyone went down this way because they were trying to get the blitz or the rush from this way. Run action, making sure there wasn't. So a lot of what Texas is doing isn't really taking him off the leash. They're not letting him really attack and explode and go after the quarterback on a lot of these. Here he is taking on double team again. Getting walked down the field on the left side. I want to watch Sweat. Does he get doubled here? He does. But he stones him. They don't get anything on him. Like he's got the size. I'm surprised he wasn't playing nose more often. Hmm. Can I bring that one back too? I don't know why. My eyes are on Sweat again here. Can we watch Sweat? Don't watch Murphy who circled. Watch Sweat. One-on-one. Locks him out. And then we're going to see him now. He's trying to get that hand off of him. Disengage. Kenny, he does. Good job. Like that's what I want it to look like. Neither guy really running though after the play, right? Let's watch both guys run down this play. Are they jogging it? Are they interested? Do they want to go make a play? Yeah, someone else has it, huh? Ooh, so close to breaking free and threw that again. Okay, so he's jumping over. It's going to be a twist between the two of them. Is he trying to keep them engaged with him so Sweat can get around? Because he's really, I mean, his hands are stagnant there. He's got to be knocking those guys away from him and knocking them off. Here we go. He's a little bit more outside this time. Can we get a straight up rush against the center? A little bull rush. Nice. There we go. There's a sack for Byron Murphy. Let's see this bull rush against the center. Again, beating the center is what it is, but he walks him backwards and then gets one arm free to help pull the quarterback down with the help of his teammates. But yeah, we'll take some bull rushing. So 2 major wins against center so far. See, this happens a lot when I'm watching Texas. 2 guys end up going in the same gap. Like, how did they get as far as they got? Like, is he blitzing here and then you went there too, or is he supposed to be going this way? Who's messing up here? Watch Sweat actually on this side. Sweat on this side here. Man, that's a clean win for a big dude. We're gonna have to watch him. That is clean. So Byron Murphy, let's first talk about the tape and some of the challenges that you get when a player you feel maybe playing out of position. This happened and was brought up to me as a reminder that Grady Jarrett out of Clemson, a guy that I had a top 40 grade on who went in the 5th round, played a lot of nose tackle. And he was, again, 6'1", 305. Out of position a lot. And Grady's continued to do that for the Falcons. Not consistently, but he will play nose. He will rotate throughout all 3 positions in the interior. So, will Murphy be able to do that in the NFL? He's got a lot of experience doing it. So, yeah, that's a bonus. Is he a true nose tackle, a 325, 330 pounder that can 2-gap and just eat up bodies? I don't think so. I wouldn't say he is, but having a guy that can do some of that is valuable and does bring some versatility, just different kind of versatility. It's a great direct comparison between he and Jerzon Newton because Newton did some of it, but like 1 out of 40 snaps, right? He was more 3 tech all the way out to 5 tech and able to run upfield and rush the passer all the time and play more one-on-one football. That's valuable. Bengals do not have a guy that can do that. Like BJ Hill is their guy to do that, and he's 330. He's not, he's not the most athletic dude in the world. Good for that size, but um, they don't have the Geno Atkins, the Larry Ogunjobi, the penetrator upfield guy. You see him in the league right now. Just this weekend, Matt Abike, Chris Jones, Javon Hargrave, even Ayla McNeil for the Lions. So you're going to see 4 guys this week that can all do it. Bengals don't have that. But when you see Byron Murphy's body type, you're like, he should be kicked out at 3 tech. Let him do work one-on-one. I'd love to see it. And because we don't see it, his numbers and his production scores are going to take a hit this year. And now, it adjusted for his competition and adjusted for his age, they're going to get boosted back up a little bit. When you only have 5 sacks and your team has 34, not a great market share. That's different than Newton, who had 7 and his team had 34. So I'm going off memory there, but I was looking at the percentages. The percentages aren't great for Byron Murphy. There is some data points they're going to point to a lot of success, like his true pass set. So when it's time to pass rush and you're not getting doubled, and you can just go, he had the highest pass rush win rate of any defensive tackle in this class. So like when he gets his chance to do it, it's like, this dude can do it. He should be doing it more often. So that's the thing. Like, you got to remember that it's going to, maybe some teams are projecting, hey, we're going to use him completely differently. So we love this guy. And that's why he's getting pushed up. Currently on consensus big boards, taking all the big boards around, he's 54th. So is he a second rounder? That's what we'll have to decide on that. There are 3 big numbers that we look for at defensive tackles when we're doing our spreadsheet and looking at former PFF grades to try and project how these guys will do in the NFL. His defensive grade puts him in the 90th percentile. His pass rush grade puts him in the 91st percentile. And his pass rush win rate, like I said, puts him in the 98.5 percentile amongst defensive tackles. That is, I think this goes back to 2016. That is strong pass rush win rate. A lot of his numbers are really, really high when you look at percentile. Now, the big red flag alert is the sack and the quarterback hit rate. The 45%, 44.9 to be exact. That is in the range of a lot of guys that don't work out, to put it fairly. To put it bluntly, that is what busts look like. Even Myles Murphy was higher than that. And that was one of the things I brought up with him, that his production scores were hurt. And you wonder, so you see that and you go, well, why was the sack numbers down other than getting doubled and playing nose and not being able to be unleashed? We did see it in the film too. Not using his hands as accurately as some of these other guys, not getting off blocks as quickly as he should, winning in the third phase. So like, you got first phase, second phase, third phase, and then fourth phase. He's winning third phase where Newton's second and he's in there, right? So you're turning pressures, you're getting a lot of pressures for Murphy. You're not getting sacks, which is a big difference there. And then I think because he's young as well. So all that can still develop. If he's a high-end athlete, if he blows the doors off the combine, I do think he goes in the first round. But there is risk in his profile. So as of now, at pick 18, am I turning the key on it and saying yes? I am not. I'm waiting to see what happens with the combine, because I could be convinced that age, athleticism, yeah, we don't have elite production, but we have elite advanced metrics, like the pass rush win rate. I could be convinced. And the Bengals could use a guy like that. Even if he's just Larry Ogunjobi, who is never a great player. Would you take a Larry Ogunjobi in the first round? I think that's actually a good comparison to debate. Let me know if you would. This is Bengals on the Brain, episode 53, presented by First Star Logistics. Hey, while we're talking about coaches and the promotions, Dave Lapham had a great video interviewing Zac Taylor before the promotion of Dan Pitcher, but you can get the hints of the direction they wanted to go and what they're looking for in that position and in that role in general, even though Zac Taylor calls plays. Make sure you check out that video and give us a like and a subscribe if you want more of this content or you want to be notified when it drops. Until next time, Uday.
Dave Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realized self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team.
Opportunity knocking.